There appears to be some miscommunication regarding Nick's current situation, the purpose of his spot fund, what has been filed, and other related details. We created this short video to hopefully clear up any confusion. The purpose of Nick's 2022 hearing was to point out that during Nick's 2019 trial, several critical errors compromised the fairness of the proceedings. First, the defense expert's testimony was wrongly excluded, while the state's expert testimony was improperly admitted. Additionally, the trial court failed to suppress Nick's police statement. These issues were compounded by ineffective assistance of counsel, as trial counsel failed to investigate and present evidence from a qualified neuropsychologist specializing in autism spectrum disorder Asperger's to support a diminished capacity defense. Second, the defense expert, Dr. Franks, was unjustly restricted from testifying on how Nick's autism specifically impacted his ability to deliberate in light of the unique circumstances of his case. Instead, Dr. Franks was limited to general statements about the effects of autism on a person's capacity to deliberate. Such a limitation on Dr. Franks' testimony severely hindered the ability to present a valid diminished capacity defense. In addition, a state-appointed psychiatrist was allowed to examine Nick before trial to assess his diminished capacity despite his lack of consent. This examination, performed without Nick's voluntary agreement, was later used against him in the trial, raising serious concerns about the voluntariness and fairness of the process. Third, due to his autism and cognitive impairments, Nick was unable to voluntarily waive his Miranda rights. He was subjected to a prolonged interrogation while handcuffed in a small room for 15 hours, experiencing considerable mental distress. Given his low IQ, autism, and childlike understanding of others' intentions, he lacked the cognitive capacity to fully comprehend the Miranda warnings without additional safeguards. He was incapable of making decisions in his best interest, especially in the absence of a parent or guardian to provide assistance and ensure his understanding. Fourth, despite the trial counsel's knowledge of Nick's autism, counsel failed to investigate the necessity of retaining a qualified neuropsychologist to assess his mental state and determine whether diminished capacity was applicable. Such an omission was not grounded in any reasonable trial strategy. The entire trial hinged on Nick's mental state, making this failure to investigate and present pertinent evidence all the more egregious. These errors collectively deprived Nick of a fair trial, undermining the integrity of the proceedings. As a result, the outcome of this hearing was overturned, and his trial was deemed fair. The next step is his habeas corpus petition, which we have completed on his behalf and filed before the legal deadline of March 8th to vacate his conviction/sentence, seeking an order for a new trial at the federal level. If he is granted a new trial at this level, the funds raised through his spot fund account will be used to secure a skilled federal attorney of his choice, someone who will advocate for him with unwavering commitment. He should not have to rely once again on a state-appointed attorney simply because of his indigent financial situation. He deserves to have the attorney of his choosing. This is the primary reason he requested the spot fund be set up a year ago. He is unable to use commissary funds to hire outside legal representation, which is why external support is crucial. We have not yet submitted his clemency application or the accompanying public letters of support, as the newly appointed governor has not yet released his version of the clemency petition. Each chief executive officer has their own perspectives and important questions to address. There is no deadline for filing the clemency request. While we had hoped to submit everything simultaneously, we will wait until the new petition becomes available. Thank you for taking the time to understand the true nature of Nick's fight. His battle for a new sentence, a fair trial, and the opportunity for a life beyond incarceration is far from over. Nick is innocent of first degree and deserves to be treated fairly, free from the constraints of Missouri's willful ignorance and selective listening laws. Stay connected with NPG across all his social media platforms to hear Nick's truth and get the latest updates. Until next time, sincerely, Mr. Smiley and the NPG Cornerstone Nation.